In the shadowy corners of Earth's history, long after the dinosaurs vanished but before humans took their first breath, a monster walked the plains. It was a creature so grotesque, so powerful, and so violent that paleontologists gave it a nickname that sounds like a warning from the underworld. They called it the Hell Pig. But this was no ordinary farm animal. This was a biological tank designed for one purpose: total dominance. Today, we are uncovering the truth behind this prehistoric titan. When you hear the word pig, you likely imagine a farm animal, perhaps knee-high and pink. You must erase that image immediately. One of the most terrifying aspects of the Entelodont was its sheer, overwhelming scale. The largest genus, Daeodon, was a towering giant that stood over 6 feet tall at the shoulder. To put that into perspective, imagine a creature the size of a massive American bison, but with the aggression of a rabid wolf. Weighing in at nearly 2,000 pounds, 900 kilograms, these beasts were not bottom feeders scurrying in the underbrush. They were titans. Their skeletal structure reveals a massive, barrel-chested frame supported by legs that were shockingly slender for their bulk, suggesting they didn't just waddle, they charged. When an Entelodont entered a clearing, the ground literally shook. They dwarfed almost every other predator of their time. If you were standing next to one, you wouldn't be looking down at a pig. You would be staring up into the face of death itself. This wasn't just an animal, it was a biological siege engine. If the size wasn't enough to send shivers down your spine, the mouth certainly will. The dental anatomy of this creature is the stuff of horror movies. The Entelodont possessed what scientists call complete dentition, meaning it didn't specialize in just one type of eating, it specialized in all of them. Open the jaws of a hell pig, and you are greeted by a chaotic arsenal of destruction. At the front, they possessed massive, interlocking incisors the size of a human wrist, designed to rip and tear. Behind those sat serrated, sharp-like premolars perfect for shearing through flesh. And in the back, flat, heavy molars that acted like hydraulic crushers. This combination meant the Entelodont could eat literally anything. Roots, tubers, thick hides, and solid bone were all on the menu. This wasn't a picky eater. It was a garbage disposal with teeth, capable of processing an entire carcass, bones, gristle, and all leaving nothing behind but dust mechanically. The Entelodont was an engineering marvel of brutality. Most predators have a limit to how wide they can open their jaws before the muscles lose leverage. The Entelodont had no such weakness. Similar to the modern hippopotamus, the hell pig could open its jaws to a terrifying 90-degree angle. Imagine a predator that can fit your entire upper body inside its mouth in a single motion. This wide gape allowed them to bite enormous chunks out of large prey or rival predators. But it wasn't just about the width, it was about the force. The architecture of their skull, specifically the massive zygomatic arches and cheekbones, provided anchor points for jaw muscles that were incredibly thick. When those jaws slammed shut, they did so with thousands of pounds of pressure per square inch. They didn't just bite, they demolished. A single snap of these jaws could sever a spinal cord or crush a skull, ending a fight before it even truly began. While they were capable hunters, the Entelodonts were likely the bullies of the prehistoric plains. Their diet reveals a dark truth: they were kleptoparasites, thieves, who stole kills from other predators. Evidence suggests that Entelodonts would wait for a specialized hunter, like the saber-toothed hyaenodon, to make a kill. Then, the hell pig would charge in. Because of their bone-crushing teeth, they didn't need the choice cuts of meat. They could consume the parts other predators couldn't break down. Fossilized coprolites, ancient dung believed to be from Entelodonts, have been found containing pulverized bone fragments. This implies that after they bullied a rival off a carcass, they would eat the ribs, the vertebrae, and the skull. They were the ultimate clean-up crew, fueled by the marrow of their victims. Nothing went to waste when a hell pig was hungry. Perhaps the most disturbing fact on this list is the evidence of their social violence. You might assume these animals worked in packs or had some level of social cooperation. The fossil record suggests otherwise. Many Entelodont skulls have been found with horrific, deep scars and puncture wounds that match the teeth of other Entelodonts perfectly. These injuries are often found around the eyes and the cheekbones, indicating face-to-face combat. This wasn't just territorial posturing. These were vicious, gory brawls. One famous skull shows a puncture mark right over the eye socket that healed, meaning the animal survived having a tooth driven into its face, only to live and fight another day. They were cannibals and brawlers, constantly engaging in violent wars of dominance with their own kind. It was a dog-eat-dog world, or rather, a pig-eat-pig world. Despite the nickname Hell Pig and their swine-like snout, one of the most surprising twists is that they aren't true pigs at all. If you trace their DNA and evolutionary lineage back, they sit on a branch of the family tree known as Entelodontidae. Modern science places them closer to a completely different group of animals, Cenozoic. This mouthful of a scientific term means that their closest living relatives are actually hippos and distinct whales. That's right, the hell pig shares more ancestry with the giants of the ocean than the pigs on a farm. This relationship explains their massive, hippo-like jaws and their simple stomachs. They were a unique evolutionary experiment, a walking hippo adapted for running down prey. On dry land, this misclassification adds a layer of mystery to their monstrous reputation. When you look at a reconstruction of an entelodont, you see a heavy, bulky torso. You might assume they were slow, lumbering tanks. This would be a fatal mistake. Look closer at their legs. Their lower limb bones were fused, a specialized adaptation seen in efficient runners like horses and bison. They didn't walk on flat feet. They walked onto toes hooves that were designed for speed. Biomechanical studies suggest that despite weighing a ton, a Daeodon could sprint at surprising speeds, perhaps reaching 30 miles per hour in short bursts. Imagine a creature the size of a buffalo galloping toward you with the speed of a racehorse. There was no outrunning this beast. If it spotted you on the open plains of the Oligocene, you were already dead. The Entelodont was not a genius. Relative to their massive body size, their brain case was fist-sized, primitive and small. They weren't solving puzzles or plotting complex strategies. They were instinct-driven machines. However, what they lacked in IQ, they made up for with one superpower: smell. The area of their brain dedicated to olfaction, the sense of smell, was enlarged. They had huge nasal passages capable of detecting the scent of a rotting carcass from miles away. This supports the theory that they were opportunistic scavengers. Like a great white shark sensing blood in the water, a hell pig could smell death on the wind. This keen sense allowed them to navigate their world, finding food long before other predators even knew it was their dog for over 20 million years. The Entelodonts held the title of the apex bully of the Northern Hemisphere. They thrived in North America, Europe, and Asia. During the Oligocene epoch, there were formidable predators like the hyena, the wolf-like carnivore, and the nimravids, full saber-toothed cats. Yet, the Entelodont reigned supreme over them. Or, paleontologists have found bite marks on the bones of ancient camels and rhinos that could only have come from a hell pig. But even more telling is the lack of predation on the Entelodonts. Adult hell pigs seemingly had no natural predators. Once they reached full size, they were invulnerable. They walked the prehistoric landscape with total impunity, fearing nothing, while everything else feared them. So, where did they go, if they were so powerful? Why aren't they ruling the Serengeti or the American Midwest today? The final fact is their mysterious disappearance. Around 16 million years ago, the hell pigs vanished from the fossil record. The leading theory is a changing world. As the climate shifted, the dense forests and scrublands they preferred began to turn into open grasslands. This change favored new, faster herbivores and gave rise to a new gang of predators, the bear dogs and phasianids. These new rivals were smarter, more social, and more adaptable. The hell pig, with its small brain and specialized scavenging lifestyle, couldn't keep up. The monster that had bullied the world for millions of years was finally outcompeted. The king of nightmares was dethroned, leaving behind only fossilized bones to tell the story of its reign. The Entelodont was a creature of contradictions, a pig related to whales, a scavenger that hunted, and a brainless brute with a sophisticated nose. They serve as a terrifying reminder that nature is not always kind. Sometimes it creates monsters,